something that I can pull out from my experience, especially in the remote areas like Lahadatu and a few areas in Kinabatangan, when we engage with children in the plantation in the remote area. Two implications I can see. One is that children left behind from development agenda within census are not being represented. There is no voice. They are always exposed to risk, not only risk to themselves, but also risk to host society. Now, the first thing is that I actually wanted to highlight this implication to business sector, because when children are exposed and they are in remote area, they are at high risk of being exploited, including issue that relates to child labor and commercial exploitation. And this means that employers and business are also at risk of violating not only national regulation on child labor, forced labor, or hiring irregular migrants, including minors, but also on their reputation. So that is the first one. So there's a risk where business face because we are not handling this issue properly. Second is the implication to the state. Now, tadi kan I ada mentioned that these children, they live in unstable life. They have full of uncertainty. They live in hardcore poverty. And guess what? What we learn from the field is that actually leads to desperation. They're desperate. So some of these children, because they don't see the future, they're desperate. Now, when they're desperate or in situation that they're desperate, that actually leads to anger. So we can sense from a few samples from children, desperation links to anger, marah lah, right? So marah, to a certain extent, when we further deep dive into the upper conversation with the children, and to a certain extent, we can see that there's a possible retaliation. Because you're desperate, you marah, anger, and then that leads to retaliation. And we try to reflect that what happened in other countries, like in Myanmar, Afghanistan, when people are anger or children are anger and retaliate, they actually become an easy target for. But now we are talking about real security threat. I'm not implying it. Yeah, I just learned from other countries. So like jihad movement or child armed soldiers being recruited in Myanmar because they know that these children wanting to retaliate, right? So I guess again, I'm not implying it. Yeah, I'm just because this is what we learned from the field. So if we're not managing these children, they don't see the future. We left them behind, and that leads to desperate anger and retaliation, and then become easy target for whatever things that we don't want to see in future. So that's why I said maybe this is a time that we have to reflect and care more about these stateless children like in Sabah, because we don't want them to be like that, and of course the state. So I leave it to your imagination. I mean, everyone's imagination. If we are living these children like this forever.